Hi, I'm Daniel. I will be talking about the negative side to autonomous cars. First, I will talk about the safety issues, then I will talk about the economic issues, and then I will talk about the ethical issues. First off, for the safety issues, the autonomous cars are not any different than regular cars besides the fact that they drive themselves, so they can still be recalled. Since 1966, there have been, when the government said that safety defects had to be recalled, there have been 540 million recalled vehicles, and since 2013, or just in the year 2013, there have been 22 million vehicles, and about 15 million of those were recalled by automakers, but 7 million were recalled by incidents reported by consumers. So it kind of says that these auto companies aren't telling the truth all the time. So you can't trust them. So next, Google admits that it still has a lot of work to do, and it only has mapped out their city of Mountain View right now. Next, there's three challenges that are being faced by technology, including the fact that autonomous cars cannot watch for hand signals when police direct traffic, or when the maps are outdated or they were made incorrectly. Also, during inclement weather, they can not sense where the road is or their lane. According to the RAND Corporation, while technology can sense and react quicker than humans, it is not as good at interpreting data. For example, it is that object in the road, a deer, a cardboard box, or a bicycle. Weather, terrain, and road-made signage vary across the United States. Will a vehicle be able to perform in dry, flat climate, as well as a snowy one with steep hills? Another safety issue would be that Google cars could probably perform well in an ideal driving environment, but the real world is full of one-off situations that self-driving car won't be able to navigate. By trying to figure out city navigation, Google cars are more frequently to run into these traffic situations. Okay, so for some economic issues, according to the Denver Post, the hardest part will be making these self-driving cars cost-effective to the point where this is not just a gadget that some people enjoy, but becomes mainstream. For example, hybrid and electric vehicles still haven't overcome the price gap with conventional vehicles, and so they remain a smaller share of the auto market than people had anticipated they would be at this point. So therefore, according to research done by J.D. Power and Associates, 20% of the consumers surveyed said they would definitely / probably be willing to pay as much as $3,000 for autonomous vehicle applications, but these applications cost tens of thousands of dollars. Another economic issue would be, according to the RAND Corporation, developing the infrastructure to allow systems such as traffic signals to communicate with these cars can also be complex and potentially costly. And making sure that the technology is secure from hackers is another concern. Finally, despite the growing interest in autonomous vehicle technology, it may be too expensive for widespread adoption. Another quote by Brand Palmer, it's called 15 Ways That Self-Driving Cars Could Transform Our Lives. Right now, there's a serious limit to how sprawled out a city can get. As a rule, people tend to prefer to keep their commutes under an hour, but if self-driving cars can offer quick, efficient transportation, then we would be able to see people spread out into the suburbs. And that would be a problem because with greater travel, there's greater use of energy. So it's summed up with this quote by the Rand Corporation. Negative consequences include the possibility that technology may encourage greater travel and increase total vehicle miles traveled, leading to congestion. On May 22nd, 2014, the California DMV department set out regulations for manufacturers. One of these regulations is that the manufacturer maintains a $15 million insurance or safety bond. So economically, that would be very hard. And also, moving on to the ethics section portion. Who's liable when autonomous vehicle cars crash? The driver, Google, or the programmer? Liability is a major ethical issue surrounding autonomous vehicles. Also, differing laws in different countries and states that could, should they be regulated at international or national or state level? The implications of self-driving cars regulated at a state level could lead to a significant delay in innovation by manufacturers having to conform to many different state regulations. So if you were to drive to Mexico or something, it would probably just stop and bad things would happen. So also, would it be a private or public sector? For Google to have all the influence on this, it would be a really big problem. Another problem is that what would a car do in a situation when it's forced to crash? Would it hit some pedestrians, or would it drive off a cliff or hit a wall, killing the driver? So people aren't going to trust these things. So also another huge thing would be that many people will lose their jobs. Right now there's 233,000 taxi drivers and 1.7 million truck drivers. That's a lot of jobs, and then where will they go to work? Including all the car-related businesses, people that work at the DMV, as you mentioned. Of course there's costs to running the DMV, but people get paid for doing their jobs there. And so the biggest barrier would be, one of the biggest barriers would be consumer acceptance. That's it.